Now what? Burdened with sadness, the disciples of Jesus gently take his broken body to lay in a tomb before the Sabbath day. Now what? After following him, observing him, listening to him in a myriad of villages, fields, and roadsides all over the land of Israel, it has come to this. Now what? Witnessing, most of them fearfully from afar, Jesus' very public suffering, humiliation, and execution as a common criminal, they stand at his tomb as his body is laid to rest. Now what? Throughout their time with Jesus, the disciples had noticed his trust that God, his Abba who had sent him and whose will was always uppermost in his words and deeds, would always, always, always be faithful to him and to them. But would Abba be faithful even now? It seemed to many of them that they had reached the end of the road, and so they lay his body in the tomb and dispersed to their own homes with that same question on their lips and in their hearts. Now what? Blinded and disoriented by their grief at Jesus' violent death, they feel unable to share the same trust in their loving and faithful Father that Jesus had. And so they return to the villages and homes from which Jesus had called them. They return to the way of life they had left behind when they first heard his call and were drawn to follow him. Bereft of the enthusiasm and attraction they had for him and his mission then, they presume it was time to move on with their own lives without Jesus. This chapter of their lives seems to end with the simple yet poignant prayer, now what? Have you ever been in that place, not knowing where to go, not feeling God's faithful and loving presence with you, wondering if all you'd had invested in God, in your faith, in your mission, and in your hopes had been for nothing? As you roll the stone across the entrance to the tomb that day, you turn away and join his first disciples uttering the simple prayer to God, now what? And you, like them, wait on God.